The Endless Void Podcast.
Well, Mary, welcome to the podcast.
Hello.
Today is a very interesting topic that I've been interested on, being a male. In today's podcast, we are going to be talking about what it's like to be a female here in the United States of America. And usually I say something kind of at the end of the podcast, but I do want to tell everybody today to stick around for this. Because there's probably going to be a lot of stuff that you don't know and stuff that you might change your mind on how people act and treat other people. So I encourage everyone to stay and listen to the podcast. So I guess the first question I will ask you, and Kayla's also in on this.
Yeah, here I am.
Is what is it like being a young female here in America?
Well, what is it not like? I should start. Kind of in a way that's like not necessarily like a hard question to answer because I mean it's like the obvious, like a young female. I don't know.
I mean, what kinds of stuff do you have to go through? Because as a male, like people just expect stuff of I shouldn't just say expect stuff, but I can kind of just like cruise through. Like I don't have, people like harassing me or anything as a male. It's just kind of like you're a guy, so you're expected to lift heavy things and do stuff and
So what I'm going to say for Mary is that it's kind of hard to answer that question because it's a loaded question. Because if you speak up about something that is happening, or it's just like a hard topic to talk about in the first place.
yeah, and like I don't understand. I'm not, like I said, I'm not a female.
Yeah.
So I don't like. I'm interested in the parts that like getting treated as a female here,
Okay.
and how that affects you, and what kind of stuff that we can do as people to kind of change the norm.
As
to
people
switch
or
away
as
from that.
men?
Well, as men, I
Like,
guess.
So
I mean, I do know some females that jump on the harass other females page, but I feel like that's less common.
Well, okay. So what I'm gonna say is I'm gonna start off like this. This is the first example that's kind of popped into my mind. Okay, so my everyday thing is I wake up, go to the gas station, go to any store. I'm not like a really high maintenance person, so I just, throw my pajamas on, no bra, just go about my day. It's like when a guy sees, a female with no undergarments on, or like it's like they're seeing it for the first time and they have to make it known that they're like staring, and that right there it makes you uncomfortable in your own body, like you can't like.
But the fact that guys can go outside without a shirt on is just the norm.
I was gonna bring that up. It's like I can walk down the beach. I mean, and I'm kind of like a fat guy, so I kind of have boobs. So, but I mean, nobody ever. I mean, other than people being like, "Hey, fat guy walking down the beach." Like, I don't get like people are like, "Oh, I see your nipples." Like,
Well, yeah, and then that's another thing. Like females obviously are very sexualized. Our bodies are very sexualized. So a female nipple is of course very different than a male nipple because it's a breast. Like it's and when people think of boobs, they think of sexual. Like stuff like that. They don't think of the natural. Like my breasts are here for me to feed my children. That's why they're here for me. They're not for you to look at. Yeah, like I don't know. It's very, I don't know, like there's so many things that I want to say that are like kind of jumbled up and they're all like wanting to come out. Like,
we'll get it out. Don't worry. We'll get it all out.
Well, it's like you're a little bit younger than I am, and I think that in the little bit of experience, for instance, of food and bev that you've had, you found out very quickly that it is just
Not into the mic. You're cutting in and out because you're moving your head a lot.
you're moving a lot.
I'm sorry. I have to tell. She's the producer. I get yelled at.
I'm
whenever
the
I try to
producer.
correct.
but no, yes.
So yeah, you can put the camera back.
No, I don't want to.
No, I like it. Was a good view. I
No,
was
I
looking
hate
at you
my
from
face.
here. Yeah.
All right, so it's like I said, for instance, when you first started working in the bars and restaurants, it was just a lot for you.
Yeah.
And you weren't used, and I tried to kind of shield you from that.
Yeah.
Because you are my little sister, and I had already been in that industry for so long that it was sadly normal for me.
And see, that right there kind of makes me angry in a way because I know I'm not saying that guys that do work in the food and bev industry that they don't get treated like that, because I know that there's 30-year-old women that go in and they'll see an attractive, server that's a guy, and they'll take advantage of it. But there's majority of females when you do go into like a restaurant or even to like a grocery store or anything. There's mostly female workers. So like, what was I getting to the point with this? Like,
well, it's upsetting that it's a normal thing.
yeah, and like what you just said, like, you were kind of used to it. Like me stepping into that world for the first time, I'm not used to,
No.
men talking to me like that, grabbing me like that. It's just not really something you think of, normal, especially when you're 19, 20 years old going into your like first job, and
Yeah.
you don't expect, a man, like a full-grown man, to grab you like someone that's old enough to be your father. Like, I don't know.
And the thing about it shouldn't be like a normal thing, but and I'm not saying that every establishment or, every food and bev place or whatever.
No, of course not.
It's just kind of something that from my experiences was seriously just normal.
Yeah.
Guys and girls the same. Like it was always a very fucking weird industry to work in.
Agreed.
Are you expected to just brush it off? Like what happens if you bring it up to whoever did it? Like what's the normal response for someone if you say, "Hey, don't touch me"?
Well, I mean, they'll like look at you and like laugh, like, you kind of expected that, because I mean, as a bartender server, no, you're not expected to flirt with a person or anything like that, but you do have to be nice, and you like put on a mask, whenever you're a server. So I mean, you have to like act a certain way, but like I feel like when you do act overly nice and like, I don't know,
It's different when it comes to customers and fellow employees, like, coworkers. It's different because if a customer ever were to touch me, my first instinct would be to go off.
Mm-hmm.
But like coworkers, which has happened almost every different place that I've ever worked at. But it's kind of like, where do you draw the line? Kind of when it comes to, well, if one coworker sees me flirting or whatever with another coworker and then they do something, how do I say that it's not okay? You know what I'm saying? It's such a fucking fine line thing that, especially when you're young, like you are in that industry, single, whatever, because that's what I'm looking back on, is when I was young and single and in that industry, and it was just like kind of common to, I don't know.
Oh yeah.
And you were also around alcohol a lot.
Yeah.
You too.
Very true.
Yeah,
And
always.
Does it amplify like an insane amount with what men feel like they can get away with, or is it still kind of like the same across the board, and even sober guys do the same stuff?
Well, I mean, it definitely amplifies, them thinking that they do have the right to do anything, because I mean, they're putting something into their bodies that alters their mind, so automatically they're going to think whatever they're doing is okay, and they don't justify it in their head that, because I'm drunk, it shouldn't be okay for me to touch this person because I'm not clearly in my right point of mind. Like, that's not okay at all. And people, I'm sure guys do think that way, like, oh, I'm sorry, I was drunk. No, it should have never have happened, drunk or sober. Like, you still have that morals. Like, you still have morals when you're drunk. Like, I don't know. Like, what was I going with this? See, I keep getting stumped.
That's
I don't
all
know.
right. We're getting
Podcasts
all
are new
out.
to me.
We're getting all out. That's your first time on a podcast, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So not a music video, but a podcast.
Oh,
I
gosh.
can't believe you. I can't believe you.
Well, you knew I was going to bring it up. You knew I was going to bring it up. Don't worry, everyone. We'll have a clip later.
Oh my
I promise. I'll put it in the description.
Don't
No.
do that.
So let me ask. This is kind of a loaded question. Why do you feel, both of you, like it gets shrugged off so much? So when a girl says like, "Don't touch a guy," that other guys and other people are just like, just brush it under the table. Like, let's not worry about this.
That's a good question.
Oh man. So I think I told you actually like a week or two ago about how I was out at the bar, which even though you don't like going out a lot, you still, trust me and are okay with me going out by myself. And I was leaving and a guy that I've known that, I guess associated with friends, whatever. I went to give him a hug because I'm a nice person. Gave him a hug, and he said, "I'm gonna grab your butt." And I said, please don't do that." And then he still did it,
Yeah, see,
and I was just like, "Bro, I told you not to fucking do that."
exactly.
And
no means no.
He knows that I have a boyfriend. He know and I was just like, now mind you, he's never seen Ian before because Ian doesn't go out a lot.
Yeah,
But it's not the point. Like if he literally was like, "Hey, I want to grab your butt," and I was like, "Don't. How about don't do that?"
Yeah, you clearly showed that you were uncomfortable. You did not want that to happen.
Still did it, and I feel like he thought it was okay because we are friends, or I guess you could say friends, associates, whatever.
Yeah.
And that I didn't automatically like flip out on him like I wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
My immediate reaction was to be like, "The fuck? Like, who are you? And why do you think that that's okay?" Like,
Well, that's what I'm kind of trying to get to the bottom. Why do you think that this person felt like it was okay to do that? Like, where's that line that people think they can cross?
I
it and
can't
everything's
answer
okay?
that for you.
Well,
I don't know why.
Maybe like she said, like they are associates. Maybe he thought it was okay because that they are friends, and it's not the first time that they have talked or anything like that. Even if she didn't like flirt or insinuate anything like that, like he probably thought, hey, this is my friend. I'm drunk. She probably won't care, but
I specifically said, please don't do that.
Yeah, exactly. And see that it will and see what he said. Why do you think he still did it? That's probably what his justification was. Even if you did okay, well, she's probably kidding. She said no. She's probably playing around. No, it's still no means no. It doesn't matter what the situation is. It could be holding hands. It could be a hug. I don't care. If I don't want you to touch me, please respect that. And like Kayla said, I can't justify to why people still do what they do, even if we do say no. I don't know.
That's the thing. Like, I can't tell you why he thought it was okay to still do it, and I don't. I said this a little while ago about I don't think that the sexual harassment, rape culture is ever going to change. I don't think it'll. I think it's something that every person, whether it's a male or female, for the rest of eternity, is going to have to deal with it because I don't think it's ever going to go away.
Nope.
Well, what can you do to protect yourself from that then?
Carrie, I don't know.
Or we can instead of worrying about protecting ourselves, why aren't parents teaching their children, their boys, not to do this, or teaching just kid? It doesn't have to be a boy, girl. Parents need to teach their kids what consent is. Don't ever touch somebody that doesn't want to be touched. If they say no, no means no. I'm tired of people asking well, what can you do to protect yourself? No, what can we do to get these people to stop raping and fucking molesting people?
The fact of the matter is that as young girls, you're taught things like, when you're walking alone to your car at night, carry your keys, in between your fingers. And, if you're going out, don't drink too much. And, it's just it's fucked up, to be honest, because instead of that, I shouldn't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
Because if I'm just being a human, why is it okay that a guy goes out and does all the same things that I might have done and he gets to go home and be unaffected? Where it's, if I walk down a dark alley, I might get raped and murdered.
Yeah, or kidnapped and fucking sold on the black market. What?
Yeah. Do you think internet culture plays a big role in any of this without regulation on what kind of videos and information you can get out online? Me being a gamer, I when I play and there's girls, it mostly comes out to be like, oh, you're a girl, you don't play video games online. But recently, they've brought down a whole slew of people who at gaming events were roofing drinks and raping these
Oh,
other girls who were there
wow.
for the tournaments and other. Oh yeah, there's a ton of them.
Really?
I feel like the internet not being regulated, you can say so much stuff online, and people just assume you're hiding behind your keyboard. But then
Yeah.
you are until you show up.
Very true.
So, okay, you think that plays a big role in all that?
Oh, I don't know. When I don't even really understand. Like, what do you mean that?
Like, do you think the internet being as unregulated as it is, and the image that you can portray, and all the free porn that people can watch and stuff
so
like
like
that? Do you
so
think
in terms of like girls that do the OnlyFans, like I don't understand. Like I'm confused.
Well, yeah, stuff like that. I mean, all the sexualization and stuff. Do you think that has a part, and men being able to say whatever they want online with no repercussions?
No, because I
Do you
think that
that has a
anybody, male or female, anybody can say whatever they want online. Like I don't really think that. Um, Again, this is something that I feel like it's not just a matter of like being a woman in America today. It's being a woman in the world whenever.
Yeah. Very true.
That's what I feel like. It's not like being because being a woman in America today is so much better than being a woman in Afghanistan or like
I didn't even, think of it like
No,
that or
no.
look at it in that way that you just said,
That-
because if you think about it, they do have
It-
it a lot worse than we do.
it's just being a woman in
Yeah.
general. In general, I think like it's hard and it fucking sucks and I don't know. It's not just about being the topic is being a woman in America today. It's just about being America a woman in the world anywhere at
Yeah.
any time in history from the beginning in time until now.
Yeah, and it really hasn't even been that long since like the women's rights movements and stuff. I mean, people are still fighting for equal rights.
Oh yeah.
He was like, are women still not getting paid as much as men? I think that's still a thing, right?
Almost positive, yeah. No.
I mean, one of my friends is actually struggling to get birth control, to get her birth control out and get new birth control. I mean, I feel like that she has to pay like a good couple hundred dollars to get it taken out. And I feel like that shouldn't be I don't think that's fair, And like for you, like if you wanted a vasectomy, right? If you wanted to go to a doctor's and get your shit cut right now, you could. If me and Kayla wanted to go get our tubes tied, we need to have
Permission.
2 kids, permission from our spouse. And I think there's one more. You have to be at least 25 years old.
Yeah.
So, and that right there, it's my own body. Why do I have to have all those things to do what I want with my own body? That I don't think that's fair at all either.
There is a
Because-
lot of regulation on female body from the government.
Yeah, and I don't think that that doesn't seem
No,
right in my
and birth
eyes.
control and stuff like that should absolutely be free.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question, Ian?
Yes.
This is going to sound crazy, but if the roles were kind of reversed and men could get pregnant, would you want somebody to be able to tell you whether or not you could?
No, and I don't agree with that. No, I would not want somebody telling me what I can, especially because there's so many things that can medically go wrong with a birth or how you
Yeah.
got pregnant, whether you were,
Yeah.
a 17 or 16-year-old girl who's been
A
raped.
13-year-old girl that's gotten
13-year-old,
raped,
yeah.
you want her to have that child. You want her to go through that pregnancy and have that child, and have to go through that reminder, And I know a lot of people that, have gotten raped and they do keep that child. And that is very strong of them. I look at those women and they're very powerful women because they do, look past that, what happened to them. And, they kind of celebrate it in a way by keeping, that child. But I'm going to say if I was a 13-year-old girl and that had happened to me and people are telling me that I have to keep my baby, I don't think I would be able to live with myself, like, and not necessarily because it wasn't my fault that had happened to me, but I don't think that I would want to have that reminder every day, like, I don't think I would personally be that strong.
Yeah, that should be your choice.
Yeah, and that's the thing, like, it's not for a lot of people. Like, you can't go and get an abortion if you want to nowadays. Like, I don't know, it's not right.
I mean, I think part of it too is, I mean, for so long, women were just things for breeding. Men went, and I mean, it was a different time back then as well, where men were supporting an entire 8-person family off one income, and then it just became that women were looked at as the dishwashers and
Yeah,
the
get
child
in the kitchen
bearers
and make me a
cleaning the carriers
sandwich.
and make me food when I come home. But TV shows and stuff all promoted that too.
Oh, they still do
All the
now.
old TV shows, they come home from like Leave It to Beaver and all kinds of stuff like that, and then people watch that, and then that's like the media, it just portrays this image and slams it into somebody's mind so much that it just becomes an acceptable norm when it shouldn't be.
Oh yeah.
What are you shaking your head for?
Nothing.
No, what are you saying?
Nothing.
You got to add to that.
No.
You don't think that portrayed?
No, I absolutely do think that that's the case.
Do you think they should remove that stuff? Because I know cancel culture is huge right now too. But I think,
yeah, no, I'm not even getting in on that shit. What I'm saying is that there's so many other things going on in the world right now, and like, why? I mean, Jesus,
there is a lot going on.
It's never not going to be hard being a woman.
Mm-mm.
But what can we do to try and change it to make it easier? Like,
I
what?
mean,
No,
men and maybe people in general, and no.
No, I'm saying, okay, so let me put it this way then. I know this is a very emotional subject. Because this is what the platform is for, like the voice. So the message that you would give to men would be what? Like, this is your chance to say, okay, like, this is what happens, man. This is like what you should be.
I would say, look at every woman as you're looking at your mother. Treat every woman as you would treat your mother. If you wouldn't call your mother all these words and, degrade your mother and, just, be an asshole to fucking women around the world, I would say treat her how you would treat anyone in your family, like, she's a person, we're people, we have feelings, like, I don't know. It's and that's the thing, like, we shouldn't have to tell men how to act like gentlemen, like, I feel like the whole, what is it called? That fancy word. Damn it.
Misogynistic, fucking bullshit.
No, it starts with the damn C. I can't think of it right now. Chivalry is out the door, like, women don't get treated how, we think we should get treated. I don't know. It's just, there's so many things that could be different that y'all could do, but I can't even, like, put it into words right now. Excuse me. Brother?
What do you think about, like, you're talking about chivalry, and I do, like, I open the door for Kayla, like, I still open doors for Kayla. Don't lie, I do open doors, but sometimes I do. There's like a new breed of women, the ones who don't, the ones who, if a guy tries to open the door, will cuss him out.
That's like,
I don't want to use the word independent, but that's what they're kind of like calling the movement.
No.
What about something like, do you think that's right or do you think that's wrong?
I think
Because some women will have the door open and say, I can do this myself.
I think that's stupid.
Find it
I
offensive.
think that there's like not that many girls that actually do that, or women, if you will.
And I was going to say, and if they are, they've probably, never really experienced, a man treating them that way, so they probably don't know how to react to that. Like, yeah, I mean, I will say there are some things that, I don't need Joshua to help me with, or, he doesn't need to do, but I
You're gonna
I
come.
appreciate it, but like, there's times that I want to be independent and want to do my own things, but I still respect everything that he does for me. I don't know.
You're gonna come across bitter people no matter what. So like, if somebody gets upset with you for holding a door open for them,
Oh yeah,
they're just fucking stupid, Or if somebody gets upset with you for giving you a compliment, like I would take every compliment I can get, whether it's a guy or a girl telling me I look beautiful or whatever. Like, I'm going to take that compliment because I'm not a bitter, miserable person. The people I think you're talking about, Ian, like the girls that will, I don't need you to hold the door for me. Like, I don't think that's real. I think that those people are just kind of,
I think it's outrageous.
yeah, I think they're just fucked up in their own like way.
Yeah. Agreed. Like
Seriously.
there's no reason to be rude to someone that's, genuinely just going out of their way to be nice to you. I wouldn't be mean to someone if they were holding my door unless, they grabbed my ass after I walked through it, then I would have something to say. Like,
I feel like women should just turn around and just start hitting these guys, honestly.
But then and then that's another thing I was going to say. Yeah. Well, what if we do start, turn around hitting these guys? Yeah, they're going to hit us back. What the hell?
Yeah.
Like, obviously, I'm a small person. Like, and then that's the thing. Like, that's what I wanted to say.
You guys say that, but I've seen both of you take a hit. So.
Shit, we ain't gonna get into that.
All I could think about is that time that I got pickpocketed.
I thought you were going to say the time that Mary broke your arm.
Hey, yeah, I didn't break it. I fractured it.
No, it wasn't even fractured. It was like sprained, whatever.
It was messed up.
But no, like I was gonna say, there's people that are like, oh, women should be treated equally, and then you'll have these guys. Oh yeah, you want to be treated equally. Well, what happens if someone hits you? I don't really like that because that right there, if a man says that, that just shows his mentality. Like, do you want to beat on women? Like, is that what you're trying to say? Like, that's not what I'm trying to say when I want equal rights. Like, that's like what that doesn't make sense when people like say stuff like that. Whenever women are like, "Oh, we want equal rights," we want to be treated equally. Oh, you want to be treated equally? Well, here, pow.
And speaking of equal rights, and I still agree that I think the Marine Corps has done it best so far. I don't know if you're aware of this, but for a long time, I mean, it still is this way. There's never been a female in the Marine Infantry. Not that they can't, but other branches of the military were just letting females in and kind of like changing the system a bit to let them in. But the Marine Corps said, okay, these are our infantry tests.
Yeah.
They have been the same for 200 and whatever years.
Yeah.
If you can pass them, you're in.
Yeah.
And no female's been able to pass them yet. And people are kind of putting up an outrage. Oh, they're too hard. They're too hard. And they said, no, this is the standard. We've had this for, however many years they've been in existence. I forget how many years now. I have to do the math, but it's the same. These are infantry standards. If you pass them, you are in the infantry. If you do not pass them, you're out. And I've known guys that
they shouldn't be changed for a woman. If you're a woman and you can genuinely pass those tests, then you genuinely get in. That's how it works, And
that's how.
And that's why Ian thinks that men are better than women. Because
I don't.
Yes, you do. Oh.
No.
How you got?
Oh no! Stop. Because no woman has ever passed the infantry test. Like,
I think that here's the thing: equal
we're
rights
not
to
as
me.
strong.
No. Equal rights to me is something like that. But you also have to look case by case. Like, women are much better, I think, thinking things out. Like, I would much rather have like a female captain or a general that because they think things out a little bit different. Where
they
men
don't
are more
act
aggressive.
they don't act out of anger and emotion.
But
most of the time,
I mean, men
most
too,
of the time.
Men, yeah. Don't make Kayla a general.
Why not?
But don't. I don't know. It's hard for me because what if I go to job like at my job? Like, we have patients and stuff. You have to roll them. Like, a lot of times someone will come and get me. Hey, we need help, rolling this person or paying this person or this person, fell or whatever the case is. And then it's kind of like the lines. Well, if I'm doing more work, shouldn't I be paid more because I'm doing more, even though we hold the same title? So to me, equal rights, I don't think it's so much as paying men and women the same as it is paying people for
What
what
they can
they're
do.
worth. But I think women have been getting shortchanged forever because I mean, it was allowed back then. Hey, we'll pay to do the secretary job for like 10 cents or whatever. Because we don't feel like doing the busy work. So, and I think that's bullshit.
It is bullshit. Like you just said, you don't feel like doing the busy work, but you got her doing all this shit for 10 cents, doing pretty much all the hard work.
Mhm.
For free.
Yeah.
For free. I'm producing for nothing.
Kayla.
But I think women, it's not where it needs to be, but it's come a long way in the workforce, I'll say. I mean, even with places like NASA and stuff, where, they had an all-women team that was looking at different spectrums of light and made all kinds of discoveries and
Yeah,
stuff
which
like
is
that.
awesome, I don't have it.
So in the workforce, I think it's progressing. But I feel like in the harassment department, it's going backwards. Either
Explain.
that or we just see more of it because of cell phones and media and stuff. But I feel like growing up, I didn't hear nearly as much about it as I do now, even in the past like 5 years. I feel like even when I was in the military and going to school and stuff, that I really like every once in a while you'd hear like, oh, this guy did this to this girl. Like, but now it's just, I mean, it's everywhere. And I don't know if it's because females are finally feeling comfortable coming forward after all this time because they have no choice.
Most definitely.
I think that might play a part of it. Or if it's just happening more because in the digital age, like people are just, I mean, all over the place.
I mean, people are definitely getting the courage to have a voice, and I believe because of social media, because like you said, they are available, or yeah, because they can't. Oh, Lord of Jesus. Once again, new to freaking podcast. Anyways, they are able to hide behind that computer screen, so they do, get that confidence enough to build up the courage to even say something, like what happened to them, or if they know anybody that has gone through something like that. I mean, I know I definitely just, found my voice, talking about what happened to me and putting it on social media because, I'm comfortable with talking about it and telling other people, putting that awareness out there that, this could happen to you. I mean, it could be anyone it could be, really close people that you do know that you don't really, I don't know, it's just, it's
I think that now in this day and age, if you want to say, that Ian, I swear to God.
I'm just reminding you to switch the
Yeah,
camera to
don't.
you. I just don't want it to stare at me while you're talking.
I don't want it to stare at me when I'm talking.
People want to see you. They've been asking for you.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry for your fucking.
any delay.
That was like the saddest thing I've ever seen.
Sorry for that, people. I don't know why you want me. Anyways, I think it's easier now. I'm not going to say that it's happening more or less. I think that it's something that has been happening since the fucking dawn of time.
Oh, yeah.
And that it's not that people are more confident to come forward. It's just a lot harder to hide behind your bullshit once it happens. And there are so many more TV shows and outlets and things that are like telling people to come forward, whether you're a girl or a guy or whatever. Like if somebody does something to you, you need to fucking just tell on them, snitch, just snitch, right on them.
But see, here's my thing. I think it's such bullshit too, because and I've been following all these esports stories of girls coming out and saying that famous video game players have raped them and stuff. And I think I can't because it's too hard to edit it that way. I can't pause. It's too hard to edit. So just like 20 more minutes.
Okay.
I think that when a female comes out, it's immediately met with so much backlash, and they take the guy's side because it's innocent until proven guilty. Like she could be making it up, or the worst one I've seen is when something happens and people will say, "Oh, well, all he did was kiss your hand or something," and when you asked him not to, like it's not that bad, and they play it off. They downplay it as all he did was. All he did was put his hand on your leg, or all he did, it's not that bad. Like he didn't, rape you. He just touched your leg, and I think downplaying it is a really bad thing for.
So yeah, no, that's that right there. Like, I don't even understand how someone could say something like that. Oh, it's not that bad. Okay, well, has it ever happened to you? Like, how can you sit there and say that to somebody? Oh, it's not that bad. And what did you say before that? Like,
Oh well, like they just downplay it as for instance, there was a girl who came out and she was talking about how the roommate would, they always would like kind of like chill in bed and watch movies and stuff. But when Eddie was drunk, and she kind of like told him to leave, and he grabbed her hand and kissed her and told her he liked her, and she was like leave, and he just kept like holding her hand, and she was talking about how uncomfortable it made her, and then she said she got scared and didn't know what was going to happen, so she just stayed there. And then somebody else, another popular person made a video and said, well, it was your obligation to kick him out. You could have kicked him out, but you didn't. So whose fault is that? All he did was kiss your hand. Like, that's what we're calling sexual harassment now, is kissing a hand. Like, and they just downplay it.
Yeah, but
and
you
then
don't
everybody
understand the fear of like, what if you do say no? And
exactly.
then,
And see, that's the thing. Like that's probably what that female was thinking of. Okay, like what happens if I do, like tell him to leave? Like, is he gonna hurt me worse than, rape me? Or am I gonna die? Is he gonna kill me? Like, and that, I mean, me as a person, if I'm going to be intimate or, with anybody, drunk or not, if I can clearly see that the person is uncomfortable and they don't want anything to do with it, and they're like pulling away any kind of way, like I'm gonna stop. Like I'm not, and it doesn't matter if it didn't get that far. Like I might have just kissed her on her hand or kissed his neck. If I can see that he's uncomfortable and he doesn't like that, I'm not gonna do it. Like and for people to, like you said, downplay that kind of stuff. No, I mean, whatever makes you uncomfortable makes you uncomfortable. Like it doesn't have to be rape. It doesn't have to be molestation. It can be a simple kiss on the cheek, a simple kiss on the neck, a kiss on the hand, someone grabbing your hand, your thigh, your shoulder. Like it doesn't matter. If you don't want anyone in your personal bubble like that, they do not have a right to go in your personal bubble. Like
say it louder for the people in the back.
And I know too. People just talk about, what if it's a fake allegation like that? Like what was it, the football player all those times ago that the girl accused him of rape and he was put in jail for like 8 years, and then it turned out she got caught on social media lying about it. You're like, well, he spent 8 years in prison. Okay, well, I feel like the cases where it's a fake allegation aren't nearly as many as real allegations, but.
Yeah, like Brock Turner, who spent 3 months in jail after literally being caught.
Yeah, by two.
And exactly like that. And like I told Kayla, we've had this discussion before, and their excuse was, well, there was alcohol involved.
Bullshit. Fuck them. Fuck them
because
and their cop-out excuses.
Yeah, they say that alcohol hinders people's ability to make sound decisions. So if both people were drinking, they kind of null and void the situation.
So no.
I don't agree with that. What the hell?
Yeah, it shouldn't be a thing.
It shouldn't.
I mean, even guys, like, and I say this all the time, like, I've seen guys that a guy will come up joking with him, and put his hand on his leg, and the guy will throw a hissy fit and try to punch him, like, God, I don't like that. Don't touch me. Like, don't touch my,
Well, yeah, I mean, but you got to respect that, though. Like, even if it is, like, even if you are joking and, you do know that person, you're, like, going in their personal bubble, like, if they get mad, you have to respect that. Because, I mean, yeah, that might be your friend or your associate, but you don't know what's happened to them in their past life for them to act that kind of way towards you. Like, maybe there's a reason that he doesn't want, a friend jokingly like touching your thigh and like grabbing and like making like silly jokes like that. Maybe, something has happened in their past that, they just don't like when people do that to them, joking or not. So,
But I know guys like that who pitch a fit if somebody touches them funny, but are the same guys that, are online saying all kinds of stuff about females that they shouldn't. But they're the first ones to jump whenever anybody interferes with their personal bubble. So it's a double
those are the kind of
standard.
people that I want to be talking to right now. Because, like you just said, that they don't want people entering their personal bubble, but they don't have any problem, touching or going into someone else's personal bubble. Like, when that just happened, your mind is in a mind of a female. If you don't want them in your bubble, that's exactly how that lady that's sitting next to you at the bar feels when you're touching her and talking to her all up in her personal space. Like, come on now, like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's crazy the fact that homophobia is a real thing. Like where the fact that another man hitting on another man makes you so scared. That's exactly how we feel every day of our lives.
Yeah.
And we get upset, when we get advances, that are unwanted, but yet, we're just overreacting and being fucking bitches.
Yeah.
But when it's a guy getting hit on by a straight male getting hit on by, a gay male, and they don't know how to take it, like, and then they freak the fuck out
and feel
like,
uncomfortable,
Oh my God, now you know how we feel.
Exactly.
Every day.
And it's not even like random. Like there's even times with Kayla, like sometimes, and you say to me, like sometimes I can reach around her at the bar and shake her and she'll start laughing. And other times she's like, stop touching me. And I'm like, okay. Like,
but you stop though.
Yeah, but I'm saying like, yeah. And we're in a relationship and it's still like, okay. Like I'm not like, what was that face you were making just now? I saw you switch cameras, make the face and then switch it back.
But the thing is, like you just said, you stop though. Like when even if you are her boyfriend or not, like and Joshua's even said to me about some things. Like we'll be doing stuff and I'll be like jokingly stop and like he'll like genuinely like don't know what to do and he'll like feel bad.
Ian stops because he knows I will punch him.
Well, because you're terrifying. But I feel like most females are scared too because generally we are bigger than females. So a man with those problems, like, if I was a female, I'd be scared to be overpowered or something. Like, and I understand why a lot of times, and I understand, like, a lot of people get the hate, like I said, because they didn't say no right away. Well, you didn't say anything. I didn't say yes either. A no is not saying no is not an implied yes. And I can understand when that situation would be terrible because you're doing whatever you can to not get like hurt at that point or murdered, because if you just go with it, it happens. But if you tell them no and all of a sudden they get violent and kill you.
Exactly.
And that's terrifying. That's how I try to think about it.
That's exactly what you just said is what I've been trying to say this whole freaking time.
Yeah.
I am one with the female mind.
No, you're not.
I know, I'm not even close. I don't understand it at all.
Good effort, though.
Yeah, just a teensy bit.
I'm the first one to admit I don't know what it's like, and
it's good that you're asking, and you're
nowadays.
putting yourself out there, and asking us how it is.
I am generic white bread male, and for real, like I don't know what it's like to be a woman. I don't know what it's like to be black.
Well,
I don't know what it's like.
I don't know if this kind of like puts anything in perspective. This morning I went to Dunkin Donuts and it was really hot outside. I had my little bralette on. I didn't really have a shirt on, just bralette shorts, waiting in the Dunkin Donuts line. Well, there's this older gentleman in front of me in the drive-thru, keeps looking back at me in his mirror, just making eye contact, looking at me. Weird, okay, old man. Well, he keeps doing it. I wave, he smiles. I'm like, okay, what the hell? So he gets up to the drive-thru, and I'm right behind him. Well, he pulls off, and he's like waiting kind of at the end of the drive-thru. So I pull up, and the lady's like, "Oh yeah, the man in front of you paid for your drinks. No problem." I'm like, "Oh, cool, okay." Well, I get my drinks and I pull, and like he didn't like say anything to me, but just the way he like kind of like looked back at my car and I like showed him the drinks and like that smile. It was the creepiest smile I've ever seen in my life. Granted, I'm very grateful. He bought me my drinks, but it's just like, why?
But that sums
Why
up,
were you
no,
like?
exactly. That's because you hear too often about like young girls like getting fucking kidnapped and murdered and all this shit, and it's sad that to me, my whole life growing up, I have felt like I have had to look over my shoulder, and especially after certain things happen and you go through certain shit in your adult life or your, not even your adult life, sometimes shit happens. And it's just really fucked up to live in constant fear of men.
Oh, and not necessarily fear, just like always
On
on
edge.
guard, on
Yeah.
edge, like and like not necessarily walking on eggshells, but like you have to make sure you're around the right kind of people, like
Yes.
Well, a lot of men expect stuff. I feel like too. Like if a guy buys a girl a drink, he's like, "Oh, I'm getting laid at the end of the night."
and see like
And I
why
feel
do
like-
they expect that?
Exactly.
Though? Why?
And I feel like businesses do a terrible job of taking care of female customers as well. Like, for instance, if you're at a place and we'll just say a bar, right? If I'm there, no, for real, stay with me here.
Okay.
You know that there's all this alcohol involved. You know that stuff like this has happened in the past. Why somebody it doesn't always walk a female to their car, or make sure if the creepy guy in the front is just buying this girl more drinks and she's slosh drunk hanging out at the bar sobbing and serving, they're still just serving and serving and serving. Like,
Well, those
I think
are
they do a
your
better
those
job looking
are
out for stuff like
well,
that.
see, right there kind of made me mad because those are asshole bartenders. Those are shit bartenders that
That's
just
what I'm
want their
saying.
money. See, I
They
know
need
me and
to look
Kayla,
out.
whenever I know when me and Kayla would work behind a bar, if we would see any guy, even if it was a regular, if we would see a guy go up to a girl and she clearly did not want anything to do with him and giving her a drink and all this stuff, we would
I know you guys
step
would fight,
in.
yeah.
Like we're not going to let that happen. Like, and I understand there are a lot of places that the bartenders will like look the other way and they won't say anything about that. And I think that's real fucked up. Like, you're serving these people and it's your responsibility to make sure these people are okay. Like, it doesn't
Yeah.
matter that they're giving you your money. Like, I don't know,
And
that's
kinda
always
what
a
I'm
big
saying.
pet
I
peeve of
feel like
mine.
they should always be looking out, especially with alcohol.
Oh yeah, and see that's like
Always
the
be
biggest
looking
thing.
out for people in that situation rather than, okay, I'm getting my money. Like, if I saw a guy buying a girl, if she's on her like 15th shot, and I mean, at that point, she's probably blackout drunk.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
And the
yeah,
guy's probably trying to make a move, and you know that, and you're still just, no, I'm getting my money, getting
Nope,
my
see,
tip,
it
getting my
couldn't
tip.
be me. Could not be me. And if I were to see a
But
bartender
it
do
happens.
that, and see, that's what I'm saying. And like, and
Yeah.
I wish people would, if they do see something like that, they would, step in and say something to the bartender, even if they are going to get cut off or, like, I don't know. I'm just.
Do you think that I blame the bartenders and the business owners for what happened to me?
No.
When I left that establishment that night, do you think that I blame anything on them at all?
No.
Regardless
But
of
I think that,
okay, and I had not only been a regular there, but also worked there on occasion.
Okay, but
I don't blame them, and I don't think that I get what you're saying, Ian, but
there needs to be accountability.
no, the accountability should be with the fucking person that did what they did.
Correct.
That's the difference.
Yeah. But
Like,
I'm saying,
yes.
I'm not saying that bartenders are blamed for what happens, but I'm saying that in places like that where there's alcohol, that the people and the staff should be more aware.
They should
of
be
the
better
surroundings of us.
babysitters, is what you're saying. Like, have you
I don't wanna say
you've never
babysitter, but-
worked, you've never been a bartender, you've never dealt with that bullshit. You work in a bar and you are literally like trying to keep up with, at sometimes 15 different drunk people, and it's not.
But I've
As
seen
an-
you yell at people for that exact thing. And I've seen you, when you were bartending, go out of your way to tell a man to stop being creepy towards a
Well,
woman.
yes, and
So
I
that's
would
what I'm saying.
I
You
would
notice that
absolutely
stuff.
do that. Yes, I would, and I would always.
what's wrong with that?
I'm not. Well, what I'm saying is I'm not. I feel like you're like saying that certain places, should. You're saying accountability. Like it's not their fault.
No,
No,
I'm not
like-
saying
and
accountability.
I agree with you, Kayla. Like, no, it's not their fault. And it's not even a but. It's just like they should definitely, put in consideration, okay.
Like just look out for people.
And like you
But
said,
I
not
think
babysitting.
that I don't think that they are not looking out for people. I think that, especially because you can't always you have to take into consideration, sometimes people put shit into other people's drinks, and that
That's
even
true,
even
too.
if
Very
you
true.
even if you do have 2 drinks, 1 drink, 2 drinks,
I didn't even
whatever,
think of that.
I mean, you
So
could
it's like-
throw the hypotheticals. I mean, yeah, you can throw that. I'm just saying in general, if I was behind a bar and I've seen you do it, like I'm saying, if you notice something that's
Yes.
messed up, to speak up
Yes.
Yeah,
rather
if
than
you-
just
something-
that's
if
all
you-
I'm saying.
yes,
if you
That's
see
all I'm
something,
saying.
yes, and I absolutely agree with you on that. But
Yeah, I don't think that it's their responsibility. But if you're there and you see a guy kind of like
Yeah.
making moves and the girl looks uncomfortable, like speak up. Don't just say, "Well, not my business."
Well, even
and
if the
keep
girl
feeding
doesn't
drinks.
look uncomfortable, if the girl just looks fucking dead, like
Yeah.
she
You
can't
know
even
what-
have
you
any
know
fucking
what-
responses
you know what's
to
even
anything.
more fucked up about that is, Ian, what you don't even realize is that I have known other girls who have helped out random ass strangers that if they see a girl at the bar and they see this girl like having a weird interaction, they don't even know her, but they go up and say, "Hey, you know what? Hey, so and so called. Let's go." Or like,
Yeah.
and that is what being a woman is like. And I'm not even going to say in America. I'm just going to say in general.
Yeah,
That's what
being
it's
there
like.
for each other. I mean, I know that y'all have seen on Facebook those little angel drinks
Yep.
that you order at the bar. If someone's harassing you, you don't feel safe, you go up to the bartender and order an angel shot, and they'll make sure that you get to your car safe, or they'll get you an Uber, or they'll even kick that person out. And like you said, if you see something, say something. And if you definitely feel some kind of way, don't be scared to say something, because if it would be better for you to go to someone and say like, hey, that guy, is giving me kind of creepy vibes. I don't really just kind of keep an eye on him. That would do good than that would do better than saying nothing at all. And then,
Yeah.
the worst happening. And like Kayla said, women are there for each other more than men are there for women. Like women
Absolutely.
are always going to have each other's backs. Like, I don't know.
I mean, I've even seen ads for stuff that you can stick in your drink when you come back from a bathroom or something to see if it's been roofied.
Well, they
or if
have
someone gives you just the fact that we need that is
Yeah, well,
ridiculous.
they have the fingernail polish
That's
that
what-
that you put
yeah.
in, and then I saw there's this little like fabric cloth that you put over your drink, and it has like a like little tiny slit so you could put your straw in, and like just things like that. Like why are things like that even being invented? Because of people like that have done it so much, and it's caused such a problem that a product like that has to be made. Like
Yeah.
That's
you
like
can't
what it
even
is
go
being-
out and it's terrifying. You can't go out or even if you're not getting drunk, and just the thought of somebody slipping something in your drink or catching you out in a parking lot or something is
It's definitely not the best experience, like of course I love being a woman because I do get to bring life into this world, and I do get to have the motherly nature, but it is definitely very hard being a woman in the world. Like
It's a bunch of bullshit.
Yes, but we do call you Mama Kayla though.
Yeah,
yeah,
You are
Mama
very protective.
Kayla.
Like, even you have those instincts.
of course.
I'll never. You were there when we were floating, and Kayla. Everyone stay together. Grab the float. Stop floating
Yes.
away, and like holding everybody
Yes.
together so we wouldn't float off.
Yes.
It's Mama Kayla.
That is Mama Kayla.
I don't know. Females, we're very powerful. Not saying men aren't, because
All I'm gonna
It's a
say
different
is
kind
that
of powerful.
everybody should get their concealed carry permit. That's all I'm gonna say. Just carry all the time, at all times.
But even
One
on
in your
top of
purse, one in your car, one in your coochie. I don't know.
I just think people need to start being decent human beings, and there needs to be.
But that's never going to happen.
But here's the thing: there definitely needs to be a higher punishment for these crimes.
Oh yeah.
Because people literally, like you said earlier, they're getting let off with weeks or just a few months after brutally assaulting somebody. And
See, I'm crazy. I've always had this thought, like instead of us testing like makeup and random shit on animals that, are never gonna use these fucking products, why don't we test them on, the fucking rapist and the sexual predators and the fucking pedophiles that are in our jail? Why don't we test it on them instead of these harmless animals?
Prisoners now have rights. That's why.
Well, I'm just saying. That's
what
I feel like should. And you said the consequences.
There are
Get all the
countries where
damn
they castrate
pedophiles.
rapists. They castrate them.
See, why don't we do that to all of them?
I mean, if you're gonna give them such little time, just
for real, cut them off.
Lop it right off like Lorraine about.
See that. Oh, that makes me hurt. You two are all for it. I'm like, oh.
Well, I'm just saying, if you want to do something like that to a child or a woman, a man, that's the punishment. You're gonna get your dick cut off.
We were talking about this last week. There's got to be a better system in place. Because some girls they're scared to come forward. They don't come forward till later. By then, they can't do a rape kit or something.
Well, yeah, that's how I was. I was 6 years old and I didn't say anything till I was,
I mean, you wouldn't even
15,
know
16 years old.
Yeah, like you wouldn't even know at 6 to say anything.
Exactly. Then no, hell no. No, I did not think of. That was the last thing in my mind was telling anybody. Like, I sat outside with my mom. I saw the person that did it to me, gave me like the scariest look I've ever seen in my eyes. Went right back in the house, and I did not plan to say anything to anybody. But then, I started learning about this, and okay, this is not okay. I don't need to keep this bottled up. And it did feel good to finally say something to someone and finally talk to somebody about it, because it's not healthy to keep something like that bottled up. Like and I'm saying this to anybody, if you have ever experienced anything like that, it is the best thing to do. I know it's not going to feel like it, but I promise you, you're going to feel so much weight lifted off of you, you're not even going to know what to do. Like, I don't know.
I imagine holding something like that in would be very depressing.
Oh, yeah. Especially, and see, I was 6 and I didn't say anything until 16. And that's a long time. But imagine other people have gone longer and longer than that. Like,
yeah, there's some people that don't even share that.
Yeah.
I couldn't. Kayla, you all right over there?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah.
Oh.
I love you.
I know it's a very emotional.
We strong.
I love you too.
I love you.
Yeah, I love you guys.
It is. It's tough. It's very hard to be a woman, I feel like.
Yeah.
It is.
And it's not fair that just even listening to all this tonight, it's just men get away with a lot of stuff, and I mean I don't even realize it half the time. Just the stuff, and I'm not like that, but the stuff that I could just like subliminally get away with, even making jokes like, hey, Kayla, go make me a sandwich or something.
Yeah.
Like just the stuff that you wouldn't even bat an eye at, but it comes back and you think about it and you're kind of like, I probably shouldn't have said that. And, even if it wasn't malicious, it's just the fact that the joke is even there.
Exactly.
Is kind of like automatically putting somebody in the lower state. So, you okay? You did a really good job producing this.
Thank you.
You were on point with your cameras.
I hope I don't look at this. Look, they're freaking
No,
parted in the middle. I look like
they look so cute.
Dumb and Dumber over here.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know what I would have done if you would have started crying too, because then the camera would have just been on me the whole time. People would have just been hearing people talk and just watch me sit here. I'm like,
hey, well, see, that's the thing. Like, I'm not crying right now because I'm strong for my sister, and she'll be there one day. She'll be able to talk about something like this, and she'll be strong as hell. It takes time though.
She's tough as hell. You feel her muscles recently?
Oh shit! I don't want to. Hey.
Oh damn! You can't even
make the muscle. Look at that. Look at that line right there.
Yes.
I don't.
Her calf is equally as large.
I don't-
Yeah, you're jacked. You're stronger than I
Damn,
am.
I'm jacked. Mary, you got it too. There.
Dang, I don't have
Hey.
that.
Yeah,
kidding.
Ian, you don't.
Don't look at me. I'm just gonna sit here like this.
Well, that
That shirt's
Well,
cute though.
Kayla, do you have anything that you want to say? Well, let me ask you this. I mean, okay, both of you will get a chance. Like, Kayla, what do you want to say to women out there?
Shoot him in the dick. I don't know. No, well, just like Mary said, like I feel like eventually, don't ever be scared or doubt yourself when it comes to telling your story. I think that whatever you've been through, regardless of what it is, any kind of abuse, whatever, whether it's domestic or sexual or whatever, don't be scared to speak your truth and tell your story because you might, eventually help somebody else and help somebody else get through what they're going through. It's a very scary thing to have to deal with and to have to go through. So, I just think that the more you talk about it, the less it controls you and the less
Yeah, most
it,
definitely.
It's a very taboo subject in general. So you're going to have people that don't really understand or know what to say, but that's okay
Yeah.
because,
There's people that do understand how you
Yeah.
feel.
I was going to ask, are there support systems out there and stuff? I know I see sometimes on Facebook like people repost stuff. And I'll make sure I put them in the description of the video for.
Oh, well, no,
for-
the organization that helped me the most was PAR, PAR, which is People Against Rape. And they honestly did a lot for me, a couple years ago. And I will definitely, if you can find a link for them, for sure, put that out there for, even if somebody that hasn't ever told their story, they have a hotline and you can call them.
I was going to say the suicide hotline, they'll listen. They will definitely listen to you. They won't judge.
Yeah.
They won't say anything, Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think that was nice.
Yeah, that
was
was
nice.
good. Yeah, I'm
She's
gonna fucking
wrapping up.
cry. Oh, should I
Well,
stop
Mary,
it?
thank you for coming on.
You're welcome.
And we'll have this out Thursday.
Sorry, I'm so awkward,
No,
you
it'll be out
guys.
Thursday. It was good.
It's okay. He'll be able to edit it.
You fed us and stuff. Yeah, I do. I'll edit it, and then I just edit. All right, you can kill it all.
All right.
Stop recording.